Angular provides canDeactivate guard to save our data when we are navigating to other path before completing our form. Suppose I am adding some data here, and before adding the content, if I am navigating to other link, then our data will be discarded. Here comes the role of canDeactivate guard. canDeactivate guard gives a chance to save our data. Suppose I am adding some data here, and before pressing add, I am going to somewhere else. So our data is discarded. Maybe we have done it by mistake. It will be good if we get a chance, if we get a pop-up or dialog that will ask whether do you want to navigate or not. Like this. Look, this is asking whether should we navigate or not. If we press OK, then this will discard the changes. And if we press cancel, we will stay on the form. So this is very useful using canDeactivate guard, and we can easily implement in our system. So let us see how to create the canDeactivate guard. Come to the Angular doc. canDeactivateFn has the syntax like this. We can use 4 arguments. Component, this is the component for which we are using the canDeactivate guard, and second is activated root snapshot, current is router state snapshot, and the fourth one is router state snapshot. All these are provided to get data so that we can decide whether we have to navigate to the next path or not. This will return maybe async, and maybe async is of type any object or observable or promise of any object. So this was the syntax of the canDeactivateFn. Let's create our canDeactivateFn. I have roots here. I will create canDeactivate function for 2 components. One for add country component, means while adding the country, if before submitting data I am navigating to some other link, then there will be a dialog that will ask whether you want to stay on the form or not. And another is country edit component. If I am editing my data in the country data, and before saving, if I am navigating somewhere else, then here canDeactivate will ask whether do you want to stay on that form or not. So to create the canDeactivate guard, create a service, injectable service. Suppose I am creating for the add country component. I have already created a function add country canDeactivate. This is our function add country canDeactivate. This will be of canDeactivateFn type, and these are the arguments. And I have created an injectable service, that is add country canDeactivate guard. I will show you right now, and we will get its instance using inject function, and then there is a function named as canDeactivate add country inside this service, and we can pass all the data that will return true or false. If we get the true, it means it can deactivate, and if we get the false, it will not deactivate. Let us see the canDeactivate guard, add country canDeactivate guard service. Here I have created this function. Simply I am doing nothing. I have the component add country component, and inside that component I have a form that is as a form group, and just I'm checking whether the form is dirty or not. If the form is dirty, then I'm calling a dialog. Look into the code of dialog service. In the dialog service, I'm just opening a dialog box using window.confirm, and there is two things, cancel and OK for the confirmation. Okay. So I'm checking whether the form is dirty or not. Country form is a form group inside the add country component. Country form is a form group that I will check whether its form is dirty or not. So on this basis, I will return true or false. CanDeactivate add country method is being called by here we are calling it, and in this way our function is ready. Add country CanDeactivate, and to use it we have to use the property CanDeactivate. It's of root interface and assign as an array. It may be possible that we can have more than one functions, CanDeactivateFn functions, so all can be assigned as an array. I have right now only one function, so this is our data. One more thing we should know, that if you don't want to use this code, we can use map to CanDeactivate. In this case, we can directly pass our this service. I have created another one for the country edit data. This is country edit CanDeactivate card, and in this case we don't have to create function. We can directly pass our injectable service, but the requirement is that if I'm using map to CanDeactivate, our injectable service must have the method name as CanDeactivate. This method name must be CanDeactivate. Here the logic is the same. I'm just checking the country form whether it's dirty or not, and on that basis I am returning true or false. If the dirty, then I am calling the dialog service that will open the dialog box. So if I am using map to CanDeactivate, our function name must be CanDeactivate. But if we are not using, we are creating the function, then in that case we can name it anything. Like I have written here CanDeactivate add country. So this is the difference. If you are using map to CanDeactivate, we can use directly the service, injectable service, and that must have a method name as CanDeactivate. And if we are not using map to CanDeactivate, we can create a function like this, and our injectable service can have any name. Okay, in this way I have created CanDeactivate function, and we have two CanDeactivate function, one for the add country component and another for the country edit component. And in both the root guards I have used the same logic. I'm just checking whether the form is dirty or not. If the form is dirty, I'm opening the dialog box to take the confirmation from the user. Okay, let's run it. Suppose I'm filling some data and I'm navigating to some other link. It's asking discard changes for country. If I say OK, then it will discard. But if I say no, cancel, it will cancel. One more thing we should know, if we are doing no changes, then it is not going to ask anything because it's not dirty. That was our logic. I have applied one at one more places. Look here for the edit. If I am doing no changes, it's updating. But if I did some changes and navigating somewhere else, it will ask whether do you want to navigate or not. If I say cancel, we will be here. And if we say okay, then we will be navigated. And if we don't any changes then and navigate somewhere else, it is not going to ask anything. And if there is some changes and navigate somewhere else, even you go to back, that will also ask for the confirmation. In this way we can see that canDeactivate is very useful when we are creating a form, and it will be user friendly to save its work. So we can know again the steps to create the canDeactivate function. Use canDeactivateFn syntax and create a function. To create a function, we can just check the forms whether dirty or not, or you can apply your logic and call a dialog box and ask for the confirmation. If you want to use map to canDeactivate, we can directly pass our injectable service, and that must have the canDeactivate method name. Okay, all this was about the canDeactivate root guard. Thanks.